Alright, what's up everybody? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the TLM 103, more specifically, my experience so far with this microphone. It's been about 8 going on 9 months that I had bought in this microphone, and I wanted to share my experience so far with this mic, and also just break down the pros and the cons, and cover some frequently asked questions that I get on this microphone. I'm going to give you guys a full breakdown, review, analysis, whatever you want to call it, on the TLM 103. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. So like I said, I've had this microphone for almost 9 months now, and I've really had the opportunity to put this thing to the test, not only on myself, but on multiple other artists, and see really just where this microphone shines and what voices in particular this microphone works best for. Now, in my opinion, this microphone works best on deeper voices. I would say if you're somebody who has a more higher pitch nasally tone, this thing is probably not going to sound as good as something like a TLM 49, which is a little bit more darker. So this mic, since it's such a bright microphone, I find that when I pair it with a deeper voice, that is when it really starts to shine. My voice in particular, it's more on the deeper side than anything, and I love the way that it adds that extra bit of shine to my vocals. In particular, I love the way that this microphone sounds on my voice. Now, when I've used this microphone on other artists that have much more higher pitched voices, and it's not bad. Like, don't get me wrong, you're still gonna get great quality, it's gonna sound amazing, but it just doesn't sound as crispy and as nice as on a deeper voice, if you know what I mean. It contrasts so well with a deeper voice, in my opinion, that for a higher pitch voice, I would honestly just opt for something a little bit more darker. My choice would probably be something like a TLM 49. It's a noticeably darker microphone. That is probably what I would pair for a higher pitch voice. Now, I don't want to get into the specs on this microphone because that's not what this video is about, but one thing I've always really admired about this microphone is how quiet it is. And what I mean by that is the self noise. This microphone is so quiet to the point that there's virtually no way possible that you could draw any type of humming or hissing sound from the microphone. If you start hearing that in your recordings, more than likely that is coming from your preamp or your audio interface. The microphone is so quiet to the point where it is virtually impossible to get any type of hissing. That's one thing I've always really admired about the microphone, is just how dead silent it is. And not to mention, this microphone has a very flattering frequency response. In my opinion, it sounds great on just about anything that you put in front of it. But again, if you're somebody with a deeper voice, in my opinion, it just contrasts so well with that voice type. It's very, very flattering to people who have a deeper voice. But again, if you're somebody with like a higher pitch voice, or a female, for example, this still is gonna sound fantastic. There is really nothing I can say negative in that sense. It's going to sound great on anything that you put in front of it. Now, my only complaint that I have with this microphone, and really at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal because you can deal with it in post-production, but that is the sibilance. This microphone is way too sibilant. Anytime you hit a word that has an S in it, it just exaggerates that S and overemphasizes on it. It makes it really, really fatiguing. It's hard to listen back to your audio with the way that this thing just captures the S's. They're way, way too loud. But again, it's not the end of the world because you can go back and use a de-esser, and for the most part, that will take care of it. So that's really my only complaint with the microphone, and it's not something that is a deal breaker in my opinion. You can handle that in post-production, but it's just an extra step that you're gonna have to deal with. Now that brings me into what I wanted to talk about next. I get questions from people asking all the time if it is worth it to go out and get a U87 AI when you could go out and get a TLM 103 instead. And all I'm gonna say on that is this. So when it comes to the U87 and this microphone, yes, they sound very, very close, almost identical, you could say. But the one thing that sticks out, and a lot of people will point this out, is the mid-range detail. The fact that the U87 AI retains more detail in the mid-range, and at the same time, it is just as bright sounding without it being way too harsh. There's less sibilance in your recordings. That's what a lot of people have noticed. That's what I personally have noticed. that is a fantastic microphone, but at the same time, this is too. For the price point, what you end up getting for just a little over $1,000, or if you buy this microphone used, sub $1,000, there's nothing else out there, in my opinion, that comes close to that. The next microphone after this is the U87 AI. A lot of people would say that this is the gateway microphone to the U87 AI. I would agree with that because after using this, it does make me want to get the U87 AI much more than I had ever wanted to before. So yeah, so far, this microphone has been fantastic, and when it comes to those two, that's really for up to you to decide. You have to justify whether spending that money on the U87 AI is worth it at that point. So after close to 9 months, really the only con that I can think of, the only negative thing to this microphone is the sibilance issue. And again, I can deal with that in post-production, so it is really not the end of the world. At the end of the day, this microphone has easily been my favorite microphone that I've ever used. I've used a lot of great microphones, and none of those have came close to this one. This one is easily my personal favorite microphone that I've ever used. I would love to try the U87 AI and see where I stand with that one. But until then, I am beyond satisfied with the quality that I've been getting with the TLM 103. You really cannot beat this microphone. It is fantastic for the price point. Again, you can get these things used for under $1,000, and if you can do that, it's a no-brainer. If you want to get into professional recording, you want a pro grade level microphone. Anyways, guys, that about wraps it up. If you haven't already yet, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can stay notified for whenever I drop my upcoming videos. With all that being said, I will see you all in my next video. Take care, everybody. Peace out.